Introducing Marianne Ginger Snacks. Soothe indigestion, sore throat, cold, and cough with this tasty treat brought to us by Sherwood Schwartz. A Gilligan's Island reference in 2022? Is this even necessary? Why so soon, you may be asking? Well, we're here to look you straight in the eye with tongue to cheek and a wink to say this. Marianne Ginger Snacks. Find it in the Gilligan aisle. Marianne Ginger Snacks.
What place did that one end up in?
That's nowhere near the top.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I thought.
Yeah, there's a few stinkers in there, man.
Yeah. This is as bad as the
downhill from here, really.
Gilligan coconut memory commercial or episode.
Yeah. Well, that's good logic, man. If you lose your memory by getting hit with a coconut, you just need to hit yourself even harder with another coconut.
You know what, Phil? I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. Ask any brain surgeon.
You know
Got
what?
it.
He'll tell you.
That's what they did in Beer Fest.
Yeah.
That is what they did in Beer Fest.
They got drunk to remember something that they forgot while they were drunk.
Yeah. I do that when I'm high. Yeah. I learn while high, so that way I can stay high.
And
keep
somehow
knowledge.
Landfill knew some memories that his brother, the old Landfill knew.
But he's still landfill.
Right.
Yeah, just for symmetry purposes.
His name was Gil, and you can call him Landfill too.
Yeah.
Wow, foos.
That's good cartoon logic right there.
Yeah. Well, let's geek out about some actual good TV series coming out. So we've had two new ones. We had Halo premiere the week that we had off.
So I don't know the story for Halo, but and you're telling me that the representation that we're seeing in Paramount Plus is close but no dice?
It is not an exact recreation of the Halo video games. In fact, they're serving this as a prequel to when they first see in the first Halo game, and it's they're pretty much making up their own story. They have some elements in there, such as the Spartans, and there was a rebellion that did occur before the Covenant started attacking a lot of the outer planets. And so in the way the game starts, the actual games go is that they start off on Reach, which is the planet that you see in the series.
Okay. And
Reach is a hub for a lot of the outer worlds that the UNSC, or United Nations Space Command, works out of. And so they pretty much in the game,
so the whole planet is like a headquarters to
like
the
a
entire
headquarters.
Federation of planets?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was in the actual game, it was more of a colony. They were colonizing it so that way they could build the headquarters there.
Okay.
So the UNSC had a substation there, but they get a surprise attack by the Covenant. And the Covenant actually used the very first Halo ring to destroy Reach. And then that's where the game begins.
Spoiler alert, now I don't want to watch the series.
Well, that's that may or may not happen in the series, because the series takes a little different turn. We are introduced to Master Chief in the very first episode. About half an hour in, you pretty much see the Covenant are on this planet called Madrigal that is being mined, and there's this rebellion faction that's going up against the UNSC, and they talk about these soldiers called the Spartans, which is what we know Master Chief to be. So for those of you that don't know who the Spartans are, they are genetically enhanced soldiers, essentially super soldiers. But the kick here is that some of them were actually kidnapped as children and made to serve in this program, and they've been implanted with chips that suppress emotion and suppress decision making. So that way they only do what they're ordered to do. They're supposed to be the perfect soldiers. And then they're given a lot of enhancements. Like you see in the very first episode, Chief, or like even in the opening, you see the scars on Chief's back.
Yeah.
From where they would, do a lot of, genetic enhancements and things like that. So you see his team, Silver Team, they're going in and trying to take out this Covenant faction that is looking for this this artifact. And pretty much in a lot of Halo, it's based off of artifacts that this alien race is trying to uncover that eventually leads to these Halo rings. And on top of that, you find out that there's a whole history that humans don't even remember about this ancient civilization that pretty much created all of us. So I don't hate the way they're telling this. I was just shocked at how far they went from the source material, at least from the main story.
So what you're telling me is that you think that it's garbage.
I actually think, contrary to your beliefs, Steph, I actually think it's really good. The first episode, I gave it 8 out of 10. Second episode, you guys haven't seen?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
But it's still around the same.
Gonna have to borrow your Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna log it in
password
for you guys. It's pretty consistent in the second episode. The one thing that has everyone up in arms, though, is the fact that Master Chief takes his helmet off.
I was going to ask you that. I thought he was going to die if he took off any of his armor.
No, that's not how it is.
It's not Darth Vader.
No, yeah.
I thought it was like a respiratory thing.
No. They
that's
keep
Darth
their helmet.
Vader.
So in the video games and in the not comic books, but in the books, the Spartans keep their helmets on because they don't want people to know their real identity. So what it is the Spartans 1, 2, and 3, the first 3 generations of Spartans, those were the generations of the children that were kidnapped.
Okay.
And that were made into that. So the program kept their helmets on because they didn't want people to recognize them as the children that were kidnapped or anything like that. So they kept them on. It wasn't until Halo 4 where you saw a new set of Spartans that were actually people that volunteered for the program.
Yeah, and people knew who they were anyway.
And people knew who they were anyway, and they would walk around with their helmets off. But you would see them side by side with like Master Chief and his group of Spartans. His group never takes their helmets off. The other ones are always having them on, or so vice versa. But so that's why a lot of people were pissed. Like, this isn't fucking Master Chief. Like, he doesn't take his helmet off for people. Like, it's a whole
Mandalorian thing all over again.
Yeah, or the Boba Fett, like the Book of Boba Fett thing all over again. It's like, why are they taking his helmet off? So that is where they're definitely taking liberties in the storytelling. They're kind of accelerating that part.
So is Master Chief supposed to be one of those kids that we're taking?
Yeah. And that's what you're seeing in this in the series, and that's what
he fell asleep during the first episode, so he doesn't.
I saw the first episode.
So if
They
you,
explained
for
it in
those
the
of you
first
that
episode.
didn't see the first episode, when he grabs the relic that the Covenant were trying to dig up.
He's talking to me.
Yeah. As soon as yes, I am, sir. I am. As soon as he grabs it, you see that he has flashbacks of his childhood, but he doesn't remember even having that childhood. So that's where you're starting to see that we're going to start to uncover more and more as the season goes on that Dr. Halsey has been actually like brainwashing these Spartans to erase their past memories. So that way she won't get caught. Like they want to keep, because these super soldiers are the only hope that Earth and the United Space Command have against defeating the Covenant. So it's a good series. I do recommend it for everyone. It's on Paramount Plus. If you don't have it,
Which a lot of people don't.
They do offer, I think, a 14-day free trial. So I would suggest waiting until the last 2 weeks, the last 2 episodes, to sign up. That way you could just binge watch the whole series.
And while you're there, you go. If you haven't seen the South Park made for TV movies, it's not a movie. It's a made for TV movie that they put out on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, they're there, both of them, parts 1 and 2. Definitely worth it. Well, Foos, that wasn't the only series we had premiere. We also had this last week, Moon Knight. Episode 1 premiered on Wednesdays.
How'd you guys like it? I enjoyed the shit out of it.
I loved it. I loved it. It wasn't, it started off a little like, wait, what the hell's going on?
It's a pivot from everything else they've ever done in Marvel.
Oh, yeah, dude. I got like, it felt like a Memento / like a cult horror movie.
Yeah, it was definitely creepy.
It was.
What was that? What was that movie with the guy who had those multiple personalities? Split. Reminded me that I had those kinds of vibes.
Yeah, that's
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can't wait for episode 2. Ethan Hawke's character is pretty good too, especially when he like the opening scene grabbed me, like where he has the water, smashes the glass, and he puts it in his shoes. I'm like, what the fuck? And he just puts it, puts his feet in the shoes like nothing, and he moves his feet around. I'm like, you sick son of a bitch! I love this. Where are we going?
Yeah, where are we going?
I'm following you.
What is this?
But yeah, and I love that they're doing a show about Egyptian culture and history because Egyptian culture is pretty goddamn fascinating.
Yes.
It's one of the oldest. And yeah, man, I can't.
Well, they already did the Norse one.
Yeah.
Now it's time to go Egyptian.
Now it's time to go Egyptian, and they haven't. I mean, we got some Greek mythology with Wonder Woman, so
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked it. What about you guys? You guys both liked it a lot.
I liked it as a first episode. There's still a lot left unsaid, especially since we know nothing about Moon Knight.
Right.
We just barely grazed the surface of what this character is, and it seems like with the level of stress that this guy's going through, you're gonna really see the layers start peeling off.
Oh, dude, I was
Yeah.
anxious as fuck when he was starting to realize that
Yeah.
shit going down. I'm like, dude, if that were me, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god.
People know him for other names,
Yeah.
finding a phone, and then that all that shit. Yeah, I'm fascinated, I guess is what it is, because I don't know anything about Moon Knight. Haven't read any of the comic books. When you started talking about there being a possible show coming out, which now happened years ago,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Moon Knight, tell me more about him. I didn't. I mean, you did. You kind of did give me like a description, kind of intro,
Right.
But I didn't expect this, and this is. I'm fascinated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's technically everyone always terms him as the Marvel Batman. And we haven't seen that yet, but I'm really interested to see if they even give us that type of Moon Knight in this one.
I've seen the previews of some shots of
Yeah.
him in action of leading in. They're promoting the rest of the season, but some of those clips that we haven't seen play out yet, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we're eventually going to start being introduced to Mark Spector, his other personality.
Yeah.
There's another one called Mr. Knight, which is the classy Moon Knight with his little suit and top hat and cane. Yeah, dude, I think this is going to be off the wall, great. I can't wait till we start, because for those of you that don't know, Moon Knight is schizophrenic. He suffers from multiple personality disorder.
That's a different thing.
Oh, yes, a different thing. I'm sorry. Multiple personality disorder. Sorry,
Yeah.
Fu. Sorry. Excuse me, everyone.
Don't let it happen again.
Oh.
Get it right.
So far we don't know how many personalities he's gonna have in this season, but I know in the comics it's what, 3 or
6.
6.
Yeah, 6.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And not all of them have powers, though, right?
They manifest for a different reason.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's usually to protect the host.
So from what I watched earlier, there is a personality one that is a millionaire, and that one's Mark Spector in the comics.
Okay.
He's a millionaire mercenary. Then you have, Mark Spector's the mercenary. Then you have Stephen Grant, who was the one that's playing this one in this role as the little shopkeeper.
Okay.
In the comics, he's the millionaire. I'm sorry. He's the millionaire in the comics, Stephen Grant. And then there's a third personality. I don't remember the name, but he's a taxi cab driver. And he acts as the ears on the street kind of guy that has his informants that come to him with information.
there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You're telling me,
Do you
man?
not sleep?
You don't, as you see, he
Yeah,
does
he
not.
doesn't
He
sleep.
does
Yeah,
not.
That's right. He's always tired.
Yeah, he never knows when he is sleeping or not.
Right.
So, yeah, I can't wait to see which more other personalities, because as you see here already, they've taken a twist on the Steve Grant persona. Instead of a millionaire, he's a shopkeeper.
Right.
So, I'm wondering if there'll eventually be a millionaire component in there. I don't know how. But hey, you know what? Surprise me, Marvel.
Oh, I guess you both got it wrong.
Oh.
He has full-blown dissociative identity disorder.
Dissociative identity disorder. Okay.
So that's what they're calling it.
Yeah. Schizophrenia is when you hear voices in your head, but
Yeah.
but you don't become those voices. You
No,
just
no, you
hear
just
that
hear
shit.
them.
That's what schizophrenia is.
What was your favorite part in the episode?
When he wakes up in the Swiss Alps and
That was a good one.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
like wakes up, he looks up at the window. The guard's looking down. He just waves at him, and the guard waves back like "Hi."
Hi. And then they start
And they're
shooting him.
at him. Yeah, like what the hell?
Run.
Yeah. Oh man. And then especially when you start hearing Khonshu's voice, who's played by what's his name from
Good old
Mythic
Who's
Quest.
It's-
CW.
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 Yeah, CW's. I forget his actual name.
Yeah.
But he plays Khonshu, the voice of Khonshu. in
all right.
That's who that is.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about you guys? What
He
was your
also
favorite?
does the McDonald's commercials now.
scene? I'm not surprised.
I really the scene that really got me was when he's waiting for his date
Oh yeah.
and he doesn't realize because he thinks that he only one night has passed.
Yeah.
Right? Between him talking with his date, setting up for the dinner, and then following
whole-
up with the dinner. But a couple days has passed because of his,
Sorter.
Yeah.
Disorder.
He doesn't know what day it is.
and it just never occurred to him to look at what time it is or what day it is. And I just felt so bad for him because he really doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's so sad.
Yeah.
What about you, Fu?
I like when all the little ghosts start popping up.
Oh, like in
Like
the elevator
he
scene
starts
and stuff?
seeing that last, all that those little jumpy scenes. That's what I like the best.
Yeah, it's almost like horror-esque.
Yeah. So it's a lot of genres kind of put in one, and I'm excited to see what they do with this and how this is gonna tie in with the rest of the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
How are they gonna introduce we haven't seen other characters come through, right? Not yet.
Not yet, and I think they said they're not really going to bring
crossovers?
No crossovers, but they did acknowledge that this is in the same MCU universe. They just but there was little
So what
Easter
blip
eggs.
happened?
Yeah, the blip did happen for
Okay.
sure. The Eternals thing did happen for sure. So,
all
I think there is an Easter egg for Atlantis. There's a shop there called Atlantis that they're saying. So, that's teasing up the Wakanda Forever appearance of Namor, who will be finally showing up there. And I mean, I can't wait to see what else they do with this. I like that they had the jackal scene where he was attacking him. And
The jackal.
Yeah. And he goes into the bathroom, and then boom, that's when they finally unveil Mark Spector talking to him through the mirror. Like, that was dope. And then his transformation. So I can't wait to see more transformation, more him in the actual Moon Knight suit. I think that's what I'm most excited to see.
Yeah. I think and we're, like I said, we saw some clips in some of these promos that they've shot out, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So they haven't done anything wrong yet.
They have my attention.
Unlike fucking DC, who pushed a couple movies out, and now the Flash is in jail. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right?
Wait,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah, he got too happy in Hawaii.
Yeah.
He got
He
too
threatened to
much-
stab somebody, right?
Yeah, and some people said he broke into their house. I don't know how.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been known to have like violent issues,
Especially when he's drunk. He's had some drunken disorderly issues, in the past. So
Get some professional help, dude.
yeah, he kind of needs it.
And now his movie got pushed to 2023 March, I think.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
March
So-
2023. Yeah, man. So Foos, speaking of movies that got pushed back and didn't do well. Let's get your guys' Morbius review. Like what I did there. Yeah.
Well, we were excited we were looking forward to watching Morbius on the big screen. And then in the middle of the week, the Rotten Tomato review started coming out 20%, 19%, 18%. And right now, as we record this, the tomato meter is sitting at 17%.
Woo,
now,
Rotten
one
Tomato.
thing, and so I think, what was it, Steph? Was it Thursday where we're just like, all right, I guess we're not going. If it's going to really suck. But then we saw the audience score come back. And right now, as we record this, is at 70%. A fucking chasm and such a disparity between the two, between the critics and the audience. So what did we decide to do? We went to the drive-in. We decided to save some money, and actually it was kind of a cool time.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the drive-in in quite a little bit. And I guess that's what we're going to do. If it's a movie where we're just like, we want to see it just so we can say we saw it and talk about it and shit like that for the pod, do it for the pod. But I don't want to pay full price. and you can get drunk.
That's what Sundays are for, foo.
Yeah. Well,
Go see a matinee.
Nah, I don't know, man. I'm not much of a matinee guy. It's usually when I go to the movies. It's usually in the evening.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're never up that early to go to the matinee.
Yeah. So we went, and I gotta say, all right, for those who are poised to talk crap about Jared Leto, I have to say he did a good job. I liked his portrayal. I liked his acting. There was no issue. I have no qualms with Jared Leto. I have an issue with some other actors like Tyrese and Al Madrigal. Their dynamic was supposed to be a comic relief. Didn't do it for me. But even then, that can be forgiven if I just get the feeling like this movie was written and prepared to be 2.5 hours. And somebody in the editing bay got too trigger happy, or the producers or the studio were like down this guy's throat to cut so much down to an hour 44, which is kind of rare these days for a Marvel movie, right?
Yeah.
We're
It's
used
a
to
Sony
seeing
movie in association with Marvel.
And therein lies the issue too.
Yeah.
I mean, we can add that to the list. I mean, how much time you got, guys? Because I just feel like this was a well thought out story that was just hacked away. Like the editing job that these guys did, and ladies, with this movie was just out of control, because at a certain point I was more focused on trying to understand where I was in the timeline of where they were trying to tell the story as to actually paying attention to what the fuck was happening in this movie. Because yeah, it takes you, right, Steph? It takes you like in the beginning intro of a scene and where he's like going to that cave, and then it says like 20 years ago, and then you're expected to kind of follow it from there.
Okay, so the very first thing that happens is you see them collecting the bats for research. And then it jumps back to their childhood origin story, like how these two friends meet. And then it jumps back to the present. But that happens in so many movies that it doesn't take away from anything.
Took me away from it.
Like how, though?
I didn't like how they did it.
Because you have to give the characters a backstory so that you understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Somehow I still didn't care.
But
because of the way they hacked away at the fucking the editing process in this movie. And Josh, when you're able to watch it on VHS or whenever the fuck you
Yes, VHS. I'm waiting for it to come out.
Yeah,
you know it's coming back, right?
Waiting a long time.
VHSs are back, dude.
Yeah.
It's ironic, but it's pretty cool. When you're able to watch it for free on some kind of platform that you illegally download,
TV.
you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking. And I hope, and I think we only really are going to ever get this with the Snyder Cut, but I hope there's some kind of director's cut at some point that really lengthens it up and fills those holes.
Okay.
Very Resident Evil-y.
First of all, you fell asleep
5.8.
again.
5.8. 5.8. That's my rating. Okay, before you take over my rant.
Yeah, I was about to say. Hold on. Let him finish before I hear your bullshit, Steph. All right. I want to hear him.
Listen,
a real review over here.
Well, and Steph, everybody with a grain of salt, with a grain of goddamn. You're a huge fan of the Resident Evil movies. What other movies are like that? Pretty much it, right?
I'm sure. I bet you like the New Mutants movie.
I've never seen.
Oh, we haven't seen that.
Oh
one
wow.
yet.
Okay, never mind. I think she would like it though. It was just as bad. Go ahead.
There's a lot of other sci-fi movies like that.
Well, I'm gonna keep going. My gripe with this too is that we've had at least a decade of really well-made movies, i.e., Marvel. So I know this is not a Marvel movie, but that being where the bar is now set, why regress the genre back to a pre-Iron Man type of movie making? Because that's where we're at with this movie. It's like you're watching a superhero movie in the late 90s, early 2000s before Iron Man ever came out. It just has those vibes to it. Like, come on. Like, we've come a long way since then. It's not even campy. It's just not well edited.
No. I disagree with you there. Because if you watch the movie from beginning to end, everything makes sense. Yeah, there could have been more character development to make you care.
Hold on. I don't think it's a matter of making sense is what he's talking about. I think what he's saying is a matter of pacing and scene transitions.
Yes.
Well, it's because you wanted a longer movie.
No, necessarily. I just don't think that...
I did not mind the jumps because they didn't need to dwell on each particular scene for more than it was shown on screen. I think it was fair for what it was. What you're watching is an origin movie.
Which are supposed to be exciting.
Are they though?
Every single one is. The only one, I just don't want to see Uncle Ben dying again. I don't want to see Martha and Thomas Wayne dying again. Aside from that, show me the fucking origin movie. I'm for it.
Right. So you see what's happening in the trailer. It's just that's exactly what you're getting in the movie.
Yeah.
Except for, and we discussed this on the chat, whatever Easter eggs were in that trailer.
That too. It's like, why
are not in the movie.
Why even fucking show them?
And that was the greatest April Fool's joke.
Oh, shut up. This was not on purpose.
It was on purpose.
This was not on purpose.
Because it's gonna live beyond April 1st.
Yeah.
I thought it was a okay movie. It's an action movie. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. I mean, there are two mid-credit scenes.
It's not a
which
bad movie.
tie
it's not a bad movie. I'm not going to say it's
other
a bad
movies
movie,
together.
even though I gave it a 5.8.
5.8.
Let's. All right. If you want to eat some popcorn and you want something to watch, yeah.
Watch something else.
Well, okay. What did you expect from this movie, though?
I guess I expected
because we already know who Morbius is.
Do we? I don't know who this guy is. I don't read the comic books. I'm not you guys, pretty much. I'm the 30% of the audience who didn't like it. Because I don't know, dude. All right, all right. I liked it. All right. It wasn't just good. It was good enough.
There you go.
How about that?
Oh God! All right, so Steph, what is your rating? Again, I haven't seen this movie, so I'm going purely based off of your guys' review here.
So I thought it was a fair movie, start to finish.
Okay.
The characters were fine. Acting was fine.
Oh, she's about to piss me off right now.
Mid-credit scenes, are what they were.
Let her speak.
I'm at the edge of my seat right here.
So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
You son of a...
Oh my God.
Fucking damn it.
All right, so let's recalibrate here. Let's see where she's coming from. What did you give Endgame? Remind us. Do you remember what you gave Endgame?
What did I give Endgame? I think it was a 10.
Well, hold on. Let's recalibrate this recalibration. Let's focus on Sony movies. Okay,
that would be more accurate.
Let's not put Marvel's good name in such of a travesty of such Sony movies. For instance,
that's fair.
And the three Sony movies the three Sonys I'm going to use for calibration. Foo. Here we go. Venom 2. And Morbius. So in which order do you rank those three movies?
Okay. And remember, in the chat, I redacted my statement about whatever.
No redaction here.
It has been said.
In what order do you put these three movies?
I put Venom first.
Okay.
Then I put Morbius, and then I put Venom 2.
What did you rate Venom?
What did I rate Venom? Oh, I rated Venom, what was it, an 8.7?
Son of a bitch. Fuck you.
What?
Fuck you.
What?
See? She's wrong. We automatically
hang on, Josh. Well, okay, I like where you're going, but hang on. If that's what she gave it, then that's her bar. Her bar is just lower than ours. So, by all accounts, she didn't violate your 3-movie rule.
Okay.
Now, we do have to recalculate with reality in a way that we do with Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Yes. Yes. Let's do a conversion.
We
right
have
here.
to do a handicap with yours.
Right.
So you automatically get a. So yours is a 3-point handicap.
Oh shit.
No.
A 3-point handicap.
Yeah, Venom is not an 8.7. In fact,
I
it's
think
a
we just
5
divide
points.
by pi.
Okay, 3.15. I'll take that. I mean, a 1. They're all 1s.
No, we'll see what
You
we
realize
come up
I
with.
like a lot of the stuff that you guys don't like.
Well,
right?
that's where this is coming from.
Yes, that's
I like
exactly
a lot of
where it's
those,
coming
very low-rated movies.
Yes.
Yes, and thus your rating has a handicap. So in fact, let's be nice and give it a 2. You'll have a 2 handicap on all of your ratings from here on out.
What I don't understand
I'd be
is
fine
why
with a 1.5.
what I
that's fair.
don't
Fine.
understand is why you keep trying to compare Morbius to something like Endgame. Like they're just not on par with each other. They're completely different.
but
That's not what I'm
that's not what
comparing.
he's
I'm comparing your rating.
to Endgame. So
Because-
your rating for Endgame
No,
better be in the 10s.
no, I
in the
understand.
10.
I understand that part. But when he was describing his, review of Morbius, he was
Don't
just
try
like
to-
comparing.
Defend yourself.
I wasn't comparing it with anything. I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't like the editing. That's all I said. That's all I said. I said more things, but that's all I said. Listen, I don't blame you for liking it, but don't
I
say
feel like
it.
I have to defend myself over the rating that I gave it because I liked the movie more than you. It's like I'm being personally attacked.
Oh.
Well, that's every day on this podcast. So I mean, you kind of had just
No, well,
don't
that's
feel
not where
bad.
I'm coming from, Steph. I didn't like the editing. That's all it is. And the choices with some of the banter that was supposed to be the comic relief.
But it's not supposed to be ha funny.
Yeah, I guess
It's not that type of movie. It's
Not
supposed to have like
telling me.
a darker undertone. But still comic-y.
Yeah, I don't. It just. I guess it wasn't for me.
Would you say that Steph's in a comic entanglement?
No.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That didn't catch.
But I mean, okay.
So Steph,
Just watch it. Just watch the
I'll,
movie.
I'll,
fucking
I'll
watch
watch
the
it at
movie.
some point.
It's not long.
I'll watch it at some point. So here, Steph, to kind of make you feel a little better. It's not that your ratings are all bad because you do have some good ratings. It's that you're just throwing off the curve. You're the dickhead in class that like everyone gets a 50, and it's like, okay, we're graded on the curve, and you're the asshole that fucking puts up a 90%.
That's exactly
Throwing it
how
up.
it was.
It's like, you son of a fucking bitch. I needed this.
Or
damn-
you know how
I
like
gotta retake it in the summer.
the meeting's almost over. And does anybody have any questions? Oh yeah, I got one more question.
Yeah, that's you.
And if there was like infrared in that room when somebody raises their hand for the question, you'll see like everybody release like breath, like a breath from their nose, like yeah.
Dragon's breath everywhere.
So Steph, go back to the room, recalibrate. Just recalibrate.
It's been calibrated.
We don't mind you liking movies. You can like whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Just give it a reasonable and logical rating. Logical. It needs to be logical. Not phenomenal, just logical.
No, I've already said what I needed to say about
Okay.
this movie.
All right, that's fine. Okay, we can move forward.
Yeah.
He's about to lose his shit.
No, I'm fine. I'm perfectly
Divorce!
fine. No.
Slaps it down on the table. Where the fuck did that come from?
Slapping it like Will Smith. Hey-o.
Well, the Foo wanted to end this podcast over this one movie.
It's not even here.
Yeah.
He resigned without telling us he resigned.
Yeah.
Years ago.
And now he's trying to do one
Play
of
me
these.
off, Johnny.
That's the Foo
But he was so obsessed with this movie. He can't let
that
it
he
go.
hasn't seen.
Yeah. And he's the asshole that's giving like Spider-Man No Way Home and all these other ones shitty ratings. Like both of you just
Look, I wasn't the one that gave Batman a 7.4.
don't.
I promoted it to a 7.6.
You shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
You
up.
think
dude.
my rating's good?
Jesus.
Everybody's fucked up.
It's because he's fucking you. It's fucking up his rating. He's got the disease.
Jesus.
The low bar disease.
Wow, dude. Man. That's worse than
We
COVID.
need James Cameron in this house. James Cameron, every pioneer. He needs to raise the bar in the Carrillo house, evidently.
Well, listen. I will say this. It's not. You're not gonna waste an evening. You're not gonna waste an hour 45 watching this movie. You will spend it, but you'll. But it won't. It's a good movie. With respect to what they were trying to do with that Sonyverse at large. Because there is, after credit scenes that are important to where you think they're going to be going with all this. So there's that.
I read the spoilers for the after credit scenes, and yeah, I wasn't excited. I was actually confused. How they're trying to play off from No Way Home, from the way it sounds.
The multiverse cracking.
So I'll just save my comments until I can actually watch it. But yeah, let's get on to some bulletin stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there are some things in the bulletin that will piss you off, Fu. I'm not gonna lie. In this particular case, it involves none other than our favorite anime, Attack on Titan.
Oh, right.
So today
they're taking the Walking Dead method.
Yes, they are, sir. Yes, they are. So today, as a recording, they released episode 87, the season finale of part 2 of the final season.
Right.
So let's backtrack a little here. From where they are in this episode, they are on chapter 130 of the manga.
All right.
The manga ends on 139.
Okay.
So when this episode was going to air last week and even the week before, I kind of told you guys, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna be ending this series like we all think they are.
Yeah, because you said they're nowhere near being the end.
Nowhere near. In fact, the 9 episodes alone can take up about an hour and a half of content. Maybe even 2 hours, depending on how much information they want to put into that. And there was already speculation that there was going to be an Attack on Titan movie. No one really knew what the hell it was going to be about, since there's no extra stories being made by Isayama, the writer of Attack on Titan. So we finally got an answer today. After today's episode air, they announced that part 3 of the final season will be premiering in 2023, foos. And
So don't lie to me. And tell me that there's a final season.
Well, no, it's still the final season, but part 3. But part 3.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
And a lot of speculation is that the animators, MAPPA, that they needed to give themselves more time to end the series off properly, because they have several other animes that they are working on coming up. They have Jujutsu Kaisen. The next season's coming up this fall. And
Just came out with the movie.
They just came out the movie Zero, and that is actually... I heard it was really good.
Yeah,
I read the manga version of that, and it's pretty dope. If you haven't seen what Jujutsu Kaisen is, Fu, it's pretty much about sorcerers exorcising a bunch of demons.
All right.
And it's gnarly as shit, because you see demons transfigure and morph humans into these or eat them alive. It's pretty gruesome.
Nice.
So I think you would actually appreciate it and like it.
Where is this?
It's on HBO Max, actually. You can find the first season on HBO Max, and season 2 will also be premiering there as well.
Tight.
And Crunchyroll. And then I believe they have another anime coming out. I think it's Black Clover, or I think My Hero, one of them. But they're saying that is the reason that they are delaying the firm finale. And then also, this anime finale is going to be different from what us manga readers got. So I will kind of explain the differences once they actually,
happen.
Once it happens, when it actually fucking, who knows when it's going to happen. But you guys are finally experiencing what me and the Foo felt every time there was a sudden delay in the manga release, because they only released them a month at a time.
Wow.
And then 1 month we didn't we waited on, I think they usually premiered on the 19th or 20th. We're like, did you guys see a chapter? is there a chapter? No, there's no chapter. Wait, what? Like we had to wait. Like there was a 2-month break period, and so it just gets annoying. And I'm already pretty annoyed. I just want to see the end already. I want to see it animated since we all know what fucking happens. At least us manga readers. But
You think they'll change it?
they said they were. They said it's going to be drastically different because a lot of the readers of the manga were really pissed off at the ending.
Oh,
Yeah,
So they're trying to do a course correction.
They're trying to do
with this.
course correction with the anime. So,
Right. Round
so
2.
that is the only reason why I'm still invested. I want to see what type of course correction they will be making in the anime. So I'll show you guys I can put up on their screen in the living room the little manga so that we can just do like a quick read. It's pretty quick.
Spoiler alert: they don't change anything.
Oh, you bastards! You sons of bitches!
Oh, here, I'll just do.
Motherfuckers. And then we also had we're having Sonic 2 come out next week. Foos.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be taking my my nephew and my little sisters to go watch it.
You mean Jim Carrey's last movie?
Jim Carrey's last movie, Foo. And you know what? I would not hate seeing this as his last movie
You know,
because
It's-
it's
Had a
fitting.
good run.
Yeah.
It's fitting,
It's
man.
good.
It's fitting.
Yeah.
You know?
the first Sonic was great.
Yeah, well, I rewatch it a lot.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I like how they did that. And I'm really excited to see Knuckles come into play along with Tails. So yeah, April 8th on Friday. You can also catch an early fan release they're doing on the 6th, as well as, catch it on Thursday nights as well. That'll premiere. And then, Fu, lastly, we have some other sad news. We did lose, we lost a great man. We lost a great comedic actress, none other than Estelle Harris, Mrs. Costanza.
Yeah, that's true.
She left us this last
The
week.
Costanzas are now
Annoying
moved on.
They're annoying the shit out of everyone else in heaven. Frank and Estelle are arguing about what bras are made out of. Lycra spandex, get out of here.
He's trying on his man's ear.
His
up
man's
there.
ear, the bro.
Yeah.
It's the bro. Yeah, man, and that hit me hard because I'm a diehard fan of Seinfeld. I actually just watched the episode where they first introduced her as it's George's mom, and it's the one where she catches him masturbating in the bathroom.
That's the first one?
That's the first appearance of
Nice.
Estelle Harris because we see her in the hospital, and we don't see Frank's appearance until the handicap episode where they park in the handicap spot.
But even no, I'm thinking of Jerry's dad was different in season 1, right?
And yes, Jerry's dad was different in episode 1. I think episode 1, and then they changed him in episode 2.
Okay, yeah.
And George's dad was not originally what the hell's his name? Jerry Stiller. It was actually someone named John Randolph. When they first premiered it, it was a different Frank Costanza, and then after that they reshot the scenes for syndication, and that's why we see them now as Jerry Stiller.
Okay.
So if you have like the DVD versions of Seinfeld, you probably have the version with the original actor. So all of the ones that are like on Netflix or even that they show on TV, those are all the ones that you see with Jerry Stiller. And then after that, at the behest of Larry David, they kept Jerry Stiller because he just fit the role perfectly.
Yeah. They had a good dynamic.
Yeah. So it's sad.
I mean, you understand why George is the way he is because he has those parents.
My favorite episode is when he has to talk to the apartment committee about upgrading to this new apartment, and he's going up against the Andrea Doria survivor, a guy that survived a shipwreck. And so what he uses to plead his case that he is much more of a sympathy case, if anything.
Okay.
He tells them the life story of himself. And you just see the people are crying that he wore a dress, like he wears a dress as a kid until he was 4. His parents would change him. He was not potty trained until he was 8 years old. Wow. And oh man, it just goes on from there. But you just see that, holy shit, that explains why this dude is the way he is. Oh, and then at the very end, he's just like, oh, Yes, right. And to top it off, my fiance died because of invitations that I picked out that they were old and toxic. So bid you farewell. And he walks out the door and they're all crying. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, God. Yeah. So R.I.P. Rest in paradise, Stell Harris. You
man.
will be missed. And I'm going to be watching a lot of your episodes after this.
Yeah, R.I.P., bro. What else we got? Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, everybody stick around for a real quick joint report. We'll be right back. For something as uniquely crafted as your eye, you should have lenses made with the most care and precision to give you the highest quality of vision. Our mission is to provide you with the most optimal and modern eye care to ensure just that. That's why we're locally owned and operated with our very own digital processing lab engineered to see every detail imaginable. At Farsighted, we are proud to be the very first to bring this technology to our customers so that you can clearly see people's bullshit. Farsighted. Call them out on it.